Hello, hello, hello. It says I'm live and then oh, it does this all the time. Yeah, okay. Man, you get these things, they say they're apps and they're supposed to work, and then all it does is make your computer want to jump up and down and do crazy things, I tell you for true. Hello there, and good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you may be in this wonderful world. I am your intrepid host. That's a inside joke. I am your intrepid host, David Null, and my Native American. I'm proud to say my shaman uh, name is Hawkeye Two Feathers, and with both names and both of me and all of me, I greet you with love and light from the infinite Creator. I wish you blessings and clarity of mind, knowledge, and all the good things that come with this um, new awakening, I will say. Now, the title of this particular video has to do with messages from orb beings, and I titled that on purpose. Um, and I want to give a statement out in general that there I do not wish to put anyone else down for what they do, who they channel, what they hear. You know, I'm not about that. What I have been told by my contacts is that in order for people to really truly believe you, Dave, Hawkeye, that there should be some kind of proof that you, like a picture of, maybe of some of these beings who are, sending you little messages. Well, okay. In this day and age, so many people, they want to see a picture. They want proof. Now, I just did a video. I have done videos in the past when I was in Ohio of those blue spheres, beings that I met there in Ohio. And every time I get a good confirmation, I'll say, of some of the things that have been shown to me, or whether they're, it could be a YouTube video by somebody on the other side of the planet, but it will be information that for some reason strikes a chord with me and is part of the information that I need personally for whatever reason. Now, we all need information from outside sources, so that you can find out who you are, where you are, what you're doing here in in this reality. And there are so many different points of view on this, but they all kind of boil down to simple things. And one of the things that I'm being told to explain to folks who would listen is that everybody's trying to make this a whole lot more complicated than it actually is. Okay. And that includes myself. All right. Now, I grew up in Catholic religion where there is a bunch of ceremony. I mean, the priest's garments and how this is done. Oh, my heavens, at the amount of ceremony. Whoa. Now, truth be told, that's just all a bunch of fluff, period. I won't go into it, but it is. It's a bunch of fluff. People think they must do this and all these things in order to be favorable in the eyes of God or Creator. Now, in my opinion, and I'll keep this short, is that and this is what I've seen and have been shown, so I'm just going to impart it off to you. God is a construct. God is something that man invented. Creator or source, creator, source, great creator, that's the God. Creator created the gods. Now, depending on where you want to go in your history, I've done a lot of reflection. I've done a lot of reading. I've used concordances. In fact, I was using one on the internet last night, comparing what different Psalms 99. I'm just picking this. Psalms 99. I was looking at what the old translations were to see where the differences lie. And I was really shocked at how much the King James Version had really added a bunch of tongue twisting, hard to read nonsense. Anyway, so I wanted to go back before King James, which I have in the past, and I've done videos on this, and that when they speak of God and Lord and worship, they're speaking of a God that is only good with a small g. All right. I mean, think Apollo or the Greek gods, Athena, and and Mount Olympus, those kind of gods. Okay. But those kind of gods aren't creator. They're not source. They were created by source. Okay. Now, this is going to be confusing to some people, but it is really that simple, because down through mankind, and even now, people are hard-headed. I was part of the deal. I'm here to tell you, I've been hitting the head so many times that, it was like, get his attention. Well, they knocked me stupid till I had to realize that, oh my gosh, it is really that simple. Okay. God is a construct for humanity. It was constructed for humanity. Okay. Because we were too stupid, so they thought, for us to believe in a creator that you just couldn't see or whatever. You could feel it. Now, Native American Indians, and not just Native American Indians, but indigenous peoples from all over this planet, from Africa, name it. Pick a nation and pick an indigenous group of people. Amazon jungle, doesn't matter. And we white people, we go in there and go, oh, these are a bunch of savages because they wear grass skirts and they love everybody, and and they gotta be savages because they don't have skyscrapers, and and they don't have roads, and they don't have cars. And guess what? Those people are the holy people. Why? Because they're living with Mother Earth. They're living with the source creator energy in the planet, in the solar system. They don't have to talk to anybody in between. They don't have to go to a priest for a confession. And most of all, because of how they live, they don't do a lot of sinning. Now, the white people, oh, put clothes on. No, but wait, hold it, hang on. Clothes and all this, that's a different construct. Put clothes on because of the weather, in their opinion. And nudity there's nothing wrong with it because it's natural to them. They weren't taught that it was wrong. So that's not a sin to them. But Christians and white people, oh, they're running around half naked, or oh, I see the woman boobies. Oh my goodness. Oh, those people are savages. No, those people are holy. And you say, well, Hawkeye, Mr. Dave, what you talking about? How can people who run around half naked be real spiritual? And how can those people who run around half naked be holy? Then here, it's really simple. It's because when you're not wearing clothes, you can't put on any airs. You are who you are. Now, I'm not saying everybody should go strip down in the middle of town. That's not my point. But I've seen where even today, humongous amounts, 10,000 people will come in certain areas of indigenous peoples and do the old ceremonies and do the old dances and the old skirts and the things, and which require most of the time women just were bare-breasted. Oh my God. So there's 500 women running around with nothing on their chest except, they paint themselves and do these things in a ceremonial way. None of these people are like, oh, it's sexual. Oh, no. It's a tradition. These people understand something. They don't have to cover up. They're not ashamed of their God, of their creator, of their source energy, because they were created. So why should they cover up and hide themselves when they were created by the Supreme Being? So I know folks are going to go, wait a minute, but this is a very valid point. It's very basic. If you don't understand that part, then so everything else is going to be really, really complicated, because you have to let go of yourself. Well, I got a watch on, and I got this, and I got to be, and I got me a cell phone, in order to be close to Creator, in order to be close to Mother Earth, which is Creator and all these good energies. And there are all these folks talking about this now. And I've watched plenty of them over the last 15, 20 years, actually more, but YouTube's, the last 15 years more. I bring this up because some of these folks, it looks like it's like their train jumped the track. And it's like, oh, I'm talking to, this is going to sound like I'm mocking someone. And I don't mean it to be. Honestly, I don't. But, and it's not just one or five. There are a bunch of folks right now who are claiming they're talking to St. Michael. Now, maybe they are. I'm just saying. But it's got to be St. Michael. Oh, well, if I'm going to channel somebody, well, maybe you should just channel yourself. Maybe you should just channel Creator. Maybe you should channel Source. So the message, the spirit beings and my guardian angel, my spirit guide, and my long-term visions, talks, and whatever with Mother Mary. This started back in the early 60s. So, okay. And if I speak about Mother Mary, it's like, these are the messages that I'm getting. I'm not claiming to be channeling her, or she, there's been some things that she has said to me specifically, but I try not to make it like, ooh, well, she's here right now. And some of this stuff, I just like scratch my head and go, all right. Now they may have a very valid message. And I want to be clear on this. I'm not putting anybody down. But there are so many people who say they got the same person. But when I listen to their interpretation or the message or something like that, it can't be the same person. Or either that or the person who's doing the interpretation is way off base, which sometimes that happens. And there are outside forces that make interpretation, fuzzy or whatever. Oh, I'm being, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I mean no disrespect. I want to keep saying that. I mean no disrespect, because I honestly feel, these people honestly feel that this is how they're being contacted. Okay. That's not how I get contacted. That's not the way I receive messages. That's okay. Now, when I have a message that is really important, I also get pictures. So the video I did just before this about new orbs that I found, okay, or that I took pictures of, and I will try to share the screen before the end of this, but I don't want to mess up the video with trying to do that, because my poor little thingy here has trouble with doing too much stuff at one time, okay? So no, but back to this thing with the spirit and creator and whatever. Now, some of these folks, and it's a warning has come out within the community, which I find kind of interesting, in that some of these people have been compromised. Oh, they're going to have to go through cleansing, and they're going to have to do this, and they're going to have to do that. Okay. The messages I have always gotten from Mother Earth, Creator, Source, Great Spirit, Mother Mary in my world, and my spirit guide, just in life, their story hasn't changed with me for 50 years. I'm 65. Actually, 60 years, because I was about 6 or 7 when I had my first Mother Mary apparition kind of deal in church during First Communion at Most Holy Redeemer. I've said it before in my previous videos. But to this point, though, the message that I got as a child in the 60s has not changed. My guardian angel is still telling me the same stuff. Mother Mary, when I get her messages, it's basically the same. All it is doing is bringing it forward to a now message. How life was in the 60s and 70s was much different than it is now. I mean, in the 90s, it's different. I mean, 5 years ago it was different, okay? Why is this important? Because some of these folks, it seems, are getting mixed messages from their higher selves, their channelings. My channelings have never altered. They just update. And I look at some of these folks, and I'm like, how come you change in my eyes very drastically? Because, you can't get there from here unless now you got to jump through this hoop, this hoop, this hoop, and this hoop. Well, this life is very difficult. And yes, you should go outside in nature. And yes, you should ground yourself. And yes, you should do these things. But there are some of these folks like, oh God, if you don't have an essential oil and this and that and blah, 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 you're never going to get there. Or, and it's almost like, I hate to say this, but it's almost like it's a negative. Like, you should take this oil, whether smell it or bath or whatever, but essential oil, because that seems to be like the going thing these days. And there's good to it. However, if you're not in touch with who you are, all the smelling of oil, you can smell dirty socks and get what, if that's what connects you to spirit, if that's what connects you to creator. If you connect with creator and to source and your true guardian angel, I gotta say that if you're depending upon sniffing of an oil to get there, you don't need anything to get there if you just need to allow it. So it's almost like they're making it harder than it really is. Now, in the last 10 days, I've had a couple of mini miracles happen to me. And I've had a couple of humongous miracles happen. I don't want to say through me, but they're people that I know. So that's how I mean through me. And I won't mention family, whatever, but I'm just going to say very close family in family, and whether they're blood relative, I'm family. Okay. One person I've known for a very long time is just received word that his numbers are good and he doesn't have cancer at the moment. Oh, I've been praying for him. Another story. Someone with, I know several people with problems with their liver. Too much drinking, too much whatever. Thank God I quit drinking when I did, because I'd probably have liver problems as well. But that a lady who was pretty much given up hope. There are many of us who have been praying for her and sending her good energy to heal. And she's walking around now where she was not strapped to a bed, but, to keep her from slipping out. They had a trachea and a this, and the trache's out, and she's walking around with a walker now. Not the hospital or the nursing home, but she's better. She was supposed to be dead by now. She's not. So along with my other friend, and I know two other people, associated that friends of mine or at least like a good friend of mine, his sister, brother, cousin, something, or their very good friend that, anyway. But to the point though, there are people passing away, and there are people who are being healed, in my opinion, miraculously. And I love it. I have prayed for some of these folks. I have wept tears. Did I have anything to do with it? I hope I had just that much. Now, I know a lot of other people have prayed for these folks. I'm not trying to take credit for it. I'm just saying, I know I have prayed. And my prayer is to show them the faith, show them the this. And these people, one absolutely had a spiritual enlightenment thing happen to them that was just like, I would say, an NDE. Now, they were in the hospital. They weren't dead. They were, recovering. And so it wasn't like they had a heart attack and died and left their body. But I've been in the hospital a bunch, and they sedate you to the point where in certain instances, I have walked around the hospital out of my body, because you just get bored of laying in the bed. But to the point, though, I've known about, astral projection and stuff like this. And some of these folk that I'm talking about, they might know about it, but that's it, practice it, whatever. But now they're having these honest to God spiritual stand in front of them angel kind of experiences. And I'm going, right on, brother and sisters. Are we in a different paradigm or what? Now, these people are healing without the need for essential oils. They got to their creator by other means. Now, the message that the sphere beings were telling me the other night at the river, very interesting, I might add. A lot of buzzing around and different voices, but they were all like, and I've been watching it, but I guess I was looking for a little bit of spiritual clarification, if you will. And it was, Hawkeye, look what these other folks are doing. And I was like, what are they doing? It's the history. Yeah, okay, it's the history. No, but when I look at the pictures of the orbs that I take, and I say pink ones and orange ones and blue ones and pure white ones, and, and different orbs in the different pictures, or in the same picture, and in the one picture that I went over in my previous video, I counted 75 orbs in that one picture. And now they're not all the same. Now, the orb pictures that I took in Ohio several years back, they were all sapphire-ish kind of blue. Now, the ones down at the river that I took on the 10th, 2 nights ago, they're all different colors. Now, I have meditated there. I've been going to this place for at least 2000, at least 20 years. I've been visiting this place at least 20 years, at least. Probably more like 30, but because I've lived here for 45 years here in South Georgia. So, and I've taken many pictures of many orbs at that same location over these many years. And I wish I could share them with you, but they're on another computer hard drive anyway. But that's why I was allowed to take pictures the other night, because I didn't have pictures of this area. Now I do, and I can say, see, this is what I've been talking about. These are these entities and beings that live down there on the river, okay? And this is the message. The message is really kind of simple. Quit worrying about where we come from, because we all come from the same source. I'm hearing folks that like, well, I'm from Aldebaran, and I could not believe. I grew up and it was Aldebaran. Now it's Aldebaran or something, and people are coming up with some of the weirdest pronunciations for some of these places, and I'm like, you got to be from off of this planet. I've never heard that word pronounced like that, but that's another story. But to the point, though, everybody's like, well, if you're not listening to, the message of Ashtar Command, and they're saying don't listen to anybody else right now because everybody's compromised. And wait a minute. What's compromised? What is the message that's compromised? Oh, well, that I'm communicating and, my Ashtar Command and I'm like, well, wait a minute. There are a bunch of people who claim they're doing Ashtar Command, but you say you're the only one. Well, they said something like that too, and not to listen to you. And this person over there saying, don't listen to that one. And like, wait a minute now. Aren't we all supposed to be on the same page? Really? We're supposed to be on the same page. So the sphere beings are telling me, what is wrong with you idiot humans? And I want to ask the same question. What is wrong with you idiot humans? I was told I was Palladian. I don't bring it up. Okay, I knew it when I was about 8 or 9. 11. I've always known there was something about Pleiades. Long before anybody ever discussed it. Long before. In the 60s and 70s. I'm like, what's that little cup up there? And I would hear little messages in my head. Okay, one of these days, I'm going to get to go fly there. Yeah, sure, right. I'm nuts, and go take your meds, Dave. So, I haven't discussed it with people because they're just going to, you're crazy. But my journey in life has been as a shaman, as a medicine man, as a hermetic, if you will. Some people might say a Gnostic, and it's all kind of thrown in there. I know about plant medicine. I know about spiritual medicine. I know about this. I know about that. I've been through sweat lodges with real, honest to goodness shaman folk, not in some kind of group setting, but very spiritual, very, matter of fact. I've been through many, many, many special, quote, training ceremonies so that I knew what I was doing and wouldn't make a mistake, and etc. If I wanted to speak to the spirits or call in help from the spirit world, which I found is tricky at best, and you never get anything. There's always a trade. There's always a trade. No matter how good you are, what you want, if you go contacting and doing a ceremony, you're going to give up something. And there's always a piece of you that get lost in that ceremony, especially if you're good at what you do. But to the point, though, what's being said to me is that people who are spending their time, well, I'm going to research about the archons and, and Ashtar and this one and that one. Well, they traded one religion for another religion. And we've been warned about this. Now, it's not that it's an alien cult per se. It's that we're getting higher information from other areas. And like I say, I'm not saying folks aren't getting good information, but the fact that folks are starting to fight all of a sudden between each other, well, my Ashtar command is better than yours. Whoa, stop. Stop. I don't care what. I'm in touch with whoever I'm in touch with. And their message is quite clear to humanity. Yo, listen up. Stop this infighting, folk. Y'all are going nuts. Y'all left being Catholics and Southern Baptist and whoever, and learned about channeling and this command, and maybe some of it's correct. Like I said, I'm not questioning that. But now everybody's arguing about whose command has got the what. Focus on Creator. That's the name of the game. Focus on Mother Earth, what we're standing on. Oh my God. Open Ashtar command, and we gotta. Oh, shut up. You're wasting your time with all this stuff, and you're getting other people caught up in something that is wasting their energy when they could be going straight to Creator, straight to Source, straight to their guardian angel, straight to their higher self. Well, if you'll practice this and think of a blue orb and do all this other stuff, I guarantee if you sit down and you meditate and you just ask Creator, if you ask Source to show you, just sort of like Buddhist, when you have to try to explain to people in a 2-3D world what you're doing. When you get right down to it, meditation is it's a constructive nothing. Constructive nothing. In other words, you free your mind of everything, so there's nothing there, but you're doing it in a constructive way. It's a constructive nothing. So, ding, ding, blah, blah, blah. Well, there are lots of different ways to get your frequencies there. Lots of different techniques. But if you will just sit quietly and allow yourself and just open up. And, but you got to have, but Ashtar Command told me to, I need a purple orb. Well, now, crystals help me. I have crystals sitting right here in front of me. I've got a house full of crystals. Yes, they help me. Sometimes I meditate. I will grab a crystal. I will ask the crystal, I need to meditate on a such and such, or I need some extra energy because I'm going to pray, excuse me, for a person who has cancer. Will you help me? Will you, and I always say, will you come ride with me? Because that means I might go walking around, or my ride might be that I'm going to sit and I'm going to meditate for a while. And I want to take a ride and I want to use the energy from this crystal. I always kiss them, say thank you. I always put them up to the middle of my forehead, and I always wish love, happiness, and that's all I wish for. Now, each crystal will have its own energy. This one, to some people, is cracked and fractured, and but it's raw. This came out from deep within Mother Earth. There's still parts of Mother Earth in the parent rock here, and it's been chipped a couple of times because of it. It was being removed and brought in and tussled and whatever. It's not about how pretty they are. It's about the energy contained within. And folks, well, what about crystals? And I've heard about this, and I've got probably 2 dozen, well, at least a dozen books on crystals, crystal healing. The biggest thing is that it's your intent. And that was part of the description in this video. What is your intent? And I suggest that if you feel so inclined, a crystal will come to you if you need it and if you require it. I won't tell the story now because it's too long, but it basically, there was someone I met in a hospital in Tampa while my pops was passing away. And I met this gentleman and we discussed a few things. He was obviously of Native American descent. We had a little chat. But that he had said something about, a crystal. Well, I came back up to Georgia, and the next time I went down, I took a crystal. And it freaked him out because I bumped into him in this huge hospital in the middle of nowhere at a weird time of night. I bump into this guy, just me and him in the middle of the corridor in the hospital. He was like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "Well, I'm here to present you with this present." And I presented him with a crystal that I dug out of the North Georgia mountains myself. And I said, Spirit said, bring this to you. Now, I wasn't using any kind of special gift or anything. I was just listening to my intuition and what my intent was. My intent was to help this gentleman who still helps people in hospitals, to try to bring them a relief of their pain through, common prayer and music. And he needed this tool. He required it. And so I simply listened to myself. And as I was walking through the house, I have several crystals in the windows and things. And I just kind of heard this, over here, take me. And I went and found this crystal, picked it up. And you have to believe. And I'm like, well, okay, you want to go? All righty then, and I put it in my pocket and went to Tampa. And I mean, I went straight to the hospital, walked in the door, and from a 6-hour drive from up here in Georgia, bumped into this guy who was staying late. And it was just so odd, but I was able to present that crystal to him. And and we have crossed paths after that. And that was in 1999, in about October, November of 99. So very strange. And we've crossed paths since then, or have met people who we know each other. Very strange. So in the cosmic sense, if we listen to our intuition, and when I met him, the reason I say intent, my intent was, I have crystals. I have crystals at home. I'm going home. My intent is to see if there is something at home I can bring back to him as a gift. That was my intent. So I put forth my intent when I was standing there talking with this gentleman. It was 2 weeks later that this happened, and I got back and all this other stuff. That being said, it was 2 weeks later, okay? So I didn't forget. I found something good, and I bumped into him at the weirdest time at the hospital. So people are trying to make it too complicated. That you have to have all these exterior things to get in touch with Creator. And you don't. It's nice. Now, I have incense. I use sage. It's very good. But if you don't have these things, you can still achieve the goal, especially now with all this really high energy of folks who are aware of what's going on, but because of history, and I mean like human history and spiritual history, everybody's caught up with where did I come from? Now, I've had it, don't get me wrong, and I'm speaking from experience when I say this. I have been there, but where did that come from? What do you want me to do? And why am I here? I've been there. And I'm here on the other side. I chased all these other things when actually Creator just sat me down and said, look, I've been here on this place where I'm coming to you down here in South Georgia for 45 years on this particular piece of property. And what I've learned in all my travels, in all my visitations from other places, of all the times I've tried to move to other states because I thought that was a better place for me, I found God right here. God brought me to this place. And what I mean by God, Spirit, Creator, to most folks are like, well, look, I know who Jesus is. I know who the Blessed Virgin Mary is, but I listen to some people and I go, oh man, Jesus brought me to this place. Hey, Jesus brought me here and showed me. I just calm down, y'all. Okay. All right. Whether Jesus actually did or not, I don't know, but boy, they can get off on it. And I live down here in the South where that kind of preaching goes on all the time. And I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying, I get a bad vibe when some folks go into that, if you know what I mean. It's like over the top, when actually, if you sit down and just go, oh, you'll get there a whole lot quicker. Now, with what's going on, I visit a lot of chats on purpose. I want to see what folks are thinking. I want to see what folks are feeling. Because in my, Dave, go listen to this group. I don't want to. Man, I don't want to sit here in front of this daggum computer and watch that text go watch. Okay. So that's been my job at times. And I understand now why I have to go look. It's because part of my mission, and I do have a mission, I was told at the age of 11, I was going to have to pop my head up out of the swamp and talk to folks. I didn't know how it was going to happen, but here I am and do the best I can. Now, with that said, though, listen to the message that the folks will give you. And not necessarily, well, Ashtar Command says that and I'm picking on Ashtar Command. I don't know why. Excuse me, I'm not trying to be rude. But Ashtar Command says that we need to clear our frequency and we need to this and well, but you know what? The information's actually pretty good because we do need to clear our frequencies. Now, you know, envisioning golden orbs and this and a purple that and then a thing. And I really have trouble with some of that, right? And so, but my guardian angel goes back and said, well, you tried all that hokey pokey stuff and where did it end up with you? you were trying so hard to focus on the orb thingy that you missed the meditation. You missed the message. You've been sitting out here meditating, trying to visualize this orb when you could have already been to heaven, as it were, if you hadn't wasted all your time concentrating on the damn orb. And I was like, oh, we can focus. Now, this was a personal thing, like I had to realize this. But it's like, well, I couldn't hear Creator or my angel unless I got out my drum and unless I did a fire, unless I did all these other things. That's not true. Not true. Now, lighting a candle and having some flute music helps to put oneself in that. But that's not even required, because I was taught as a human being on this planet that in order to get in touch with God, you had to be singing praise, you had to be sacrificing something, you had to be drumming, you had to be doing something other than being quiet. Raise up your voice to the Lord so that he may hear your plea. Maybe we're raising up our voice too much. There's a song, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, CSNY. And I see the light, it's coming at the end of the day. No one can hear you. No one can say, you're screaming too loud. No one can hear you. Is that what we're doing? We're trying to get God's attention for what people on this planet have been taught. And I've been told all religions are just not necessary. It's not that they're not any good. It's just that they're not necessary. We can all have one true religion, which is no religion. Because if you understand who Source is, who the Great Spirit, who the Creator is, not the gods and all these other angels. No, I'm talking about the Source. If you understand and hear what that is, all this other stuff is hocus pocus stuff. It's not necessary. I mean, I'm 65 years old, going on 66. And I look back and think, I wasted a lot of time on ceremonies, thinking that's what helped me attain that spiritual enlightenment. It wasn't. I mean, I go back and, well, I've talked to God just from sitting out in the yard going, what a beautiful day. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Creator and Mother Earth. And have just the most wonderful vision or whatever by just doing that. I didn't have to light candles and things. I just was. I allowed myself just to be one with Mother Earth, with the cosmos. It's all the same thing when you just release it. So folks are like, well, I got to have my Bible. If I don't have my Bible, I got 2 Bibles sitting right over here. I'm not putting them down. There are times when I open up the Bible and I read some stuff and I go, now if Christians really did what it says right there, we'd be a whole lot better off. And I said Christians. They're Catholics. They read that Bible and it's like it's okay on Sundays, but Sunday afternoon or Monday morning, forget it. They went to confession and told the priest, so now they got a clean slate, go back out. I grew up a Catholic. I can say this. I wanted to become a priest, and my nun friend, Sister Helene, told me to study Buddha instead, and I did. Then I found out about my Native American heritage, and I have been walking the red road ever since. Shaman, medicine man, that's what I needed to find out, so I could find out where my true roots were. So I could find out, because I was going to be asked later on, like right now, Dave, what's all this about? Hawkeye, tell me about this, will you, Bubba? Look, everybody's got some good idea, and some things are going to resonate with you. But the bottom line from all the sphere beings, I have problems with their teeth, orb beings. But I'm going to quit using spheres because that's somebody else has got that. All of these orb beings are saying the same thing. Humanity's wasting way too much time on the history. Well, but it doesn't matter. Right now, it doesn't matter. Now, for all of these people who are light workers, who are empaths and everything, how many folks are just talking about, well, you know, I haven't said anything about if you want to meditate, you need to have a this and a that, and, you know, pay $2 and you can get on my page. I think somebody must have listened in to one of my broadcasts, because this particular person said, well, it's only $2. And if we're not trying to hide the information, I never mentioned this person's name or whatever, but in listening back a few days ago, I was like, did he listen to my, because if this is crunch time, this ain't about money. Now, I know some of these people are worried about, well, what about YouTube? I've said a bunch of stuff. Ain't nobody tried to take my YouTube channel down. Well, now to the point, there are only 60 some odd people. And by the way, I love you all. I didn't think I was going to get 25. And when I looked this evening and there was over 50, I almost jumped up and down and went, oh my God, I can't believe this. But to the point though, if what I say resonates with you, that's good. Doesn't mean I'm going to go out there and put all these other people down, but I have to even myself, because I listen to these people for little tips. I'm getting information from my higher self. I want confirmation. Anybody else around the planet getting this? Well, that's why I go to chat rooms and I find out, well, you know, Shelly in Palm Beach or someplace, she spells it out without me even asking. She asks questions, anybody, blah, blah, blah. And I go, holy crap, that's exactly what I saw or heard this morning. And she just typed it out. I don't even know this person. So is this synchronicity in the world? Absolutely. So I'm wondering that if these entities that these people are saying they're channeling, like I said, I'm not arguing this now, but that it's almost like these entities are throwing distractions in there. So that's why I'm questioning what's going on, because now everybody's questioning each other. Don't listen to them, or don't listen to them. Well, wait a minute. You might have something really important to say, and who are you to tell me I can't listen to them over there? Who says your information is good? I'm just saying. But my point is that I'm trying to give you the general. The general is we've all got information. Every one of us has got a piece of the puzzle. But I'm not saying don't go listen to them. I'm just saying, don't you think it's odd? That's what I'm saying. Beware, because this person has changed. What? Now it's like the message is, well, wait a minute now. Like I said earlier on, since I was 11, my message has not changed from my higher self. It's the same message, just updated. That's all. And some of these people are like really going off on a weird end. They're going out somewhere like, do you have to go really over there? Honestly, do you have to walk? Oh, do you really have to go there? And then to tell, well, that person's that's a Draco. They're a lizard. Well, no, they're not a lizard. They're actually from, something, something. So all the time of complaining who they were or are or supposed to know, maybe they do, but to the point they spend all this negative energy arguing between the two. That's what's keeping us in this stupid realm. I mean, here we go again, folk. Come out of religion and everybody, well, I'm going to put my Bible down because, I feel a higher source, a higher power. And now everybody's arguing about that. I sit back. A year ago, I was furious and kicking the dirt. And now I'm like laughing my tail off. And I don't have much of a tail, and I don't mean as in reptilian tail either. I mean my tutu. But to the point, though, no acetol. I was told years ago, you don't have much of a butt, boy. Anyway, it's an old thing. But I don't want to argue with anybody. If that's the way you feel, if you can contact your God, the source, I'm not talking about the guy on the chair in heaven, because he ain't got time for all this foolishness down here. So I was somebody, and I respected someone that I listened to, was like came up with this thing earlier the last couple of days. Does God have the right to sit and watch us die? Why doesn't God intervene more often? What does God have to? And I was like, wait a minute, hold it. The God you're talking about is Apollo or Zeus, that God. If you're talking about source, well, that's separate. And it is. And in my humble opinion, these folks who have been doing this preaching, who I do regard as they know more than some other folk, but why are all of a sudden, after me watching them for the last couple of years, are they coming up with this thing about, well, why, if God was so merciful, why is he allowing this? Because he gave us a free choice. That's why. Duh. Have you forgotten? Creator gives us a free choice. It's our choice. Now, if there are some nefarious things going on this planet, but there are folks who know about it too and turned a blind eye. Those folks, I mean, it's our collective that has allowed some of these absolutely horrendously cruel things to go on. And until we wake up and go, guess what? They really do kill babies and eat them. Yes, that's true. Yes, they do these sacrifices. Oh, yeah. Those are the nefarious ones. They think they have to eat kids to make it in life, when actually they've been lied to just as well. So that they're going to do these nefarious things to try to gain the power when they've already got it from source. So they're duped. I'm going to give you extra power. Well, I know of 2 people who've been healed miraculously in the last 10 days. And I guarantee them folks saw an angel, a bright angel who healed them. It wasn't the devil at all. And they didn't sacrifice anything except maybe their own body part from the operations, from the cancer and such. They didn't need the devil to heal them. They didn't have to sacrifice any other thing except part of themselves. That's where the sacrifice comes in. If you're sacrificing something else, you ain't got it at all. I don't care what it is. You can make an offering, fruit, whatever, make an offering. But if you make a sacrifice, you're talking to the wrong guy or girl or gang. It's not Source. Source doesn't kill anything because it needs it. It created us. Why does it need to destroy us? Why does it need a sacrifice? It doesn't. So, people right now who are talking to other beings, I want to say, y'all need to chill out, quit calling each other names, quit throwing your weight around. Well, you people have been listening to me for the last year, and because you have been following me, then I must have something that you wish to hear. So now I'm telling you, don't listen to anyone else but me. That's what they say. And several folks have said that, and it bothers me. It bothers me. You know, I'm saying, listen to my point of view and then go look for yourself, because these things that I have found, these things that I'm trying to show folk are really, really simple when you get down to it. But you have to drop all these trappings of humanity. And if someone is really in touch with the command folk up yonder, like I feel I am, they're not telling me all this banana crap. They're saying, if y'all want to meet with us, you're just going to have to drop all that mess. Well, I don't have enough gold. Well, what about this? And what about that? If you're going to move into a Star Trek type world, is what everybody's saying, then why are you worried about money? I mean, seriously, you got to pay your bills and all that, but you're worrying about, well, but buy your silver and make sure you got silver in the background and everything, you know, but the change is coming and this is all going to happen. But you better have your money stashed and you better have, wait a minute. I thought we were going to go into the barters. I thought we were going into another paradigm where the money and all this wasn't going to matter. Isn't that a change in your I'm speaking of to them. Isn't that a change in your paradigm? Because out of one side of your mouth, you're saying, ooh, this is how life's going to be after we go through this. But you better make sure that you got, 4 pounds of gold under your bed in case of what? In case they're lying to us and you're going to need the gold. I don't get it. I don't get it. It's a split. It's like they're telling us this, but then you need. All right. Okay. Now, if I had something that Creator said needed to be out to everyone, and if it was a plant or a something or whatever, an essential oil or something, and I'm working on some stuff here, but I'm trying to figure out how to give it away. It's like, okay, if you pay postage, I'll send you this. And if you want to put something else in the envelope or postage or whatever, send me a self-addressed box, an empty box, and I'll put something in it, send it back, because I can't afford this. But I can't afford to put it in the mailbox. And my time and my gift to you then would be like the mullein that I'm growing, and I'm perfecting a version of how to get mullein oil out, because it's so good for kidneys and things and general health. And oh my God, and asthma and stuff. Oh my God, and I have it now growing around my place here. And what I want to do is help heal people with some of these ailments from this naturally growing plant that I now have on my farm. It didn't used to grow here. And so all of these things are like synchronicity, but I'm not trying to make money off of this or saying, send me money. But my point is that for some of these folks, they've got this shtick going. And, well, I'm going to give you a discount. Well, why don't you give it free? If we're in crunch time, how come you're not saying, I'm going to look for a donor that I'm going to say, donor, I want to send out 50 bottles of this stuff free to the first 50 people because they need it. You don't hear that. I don't. Crickets, crickets. Now, I know it's hard to get donations and stuff, but I've seen some of these live chats go by, and I've seen $25, $50, $100 go zing, zing, zing. Now, Google's getting part of that special, you know, whatever it's called, chat, super chat or whatever. I don't qualify, and that's okay. My point is that I see money going by there. I don't make that in a month's time. And these people are going, well, thank you very much. And that's great. They need that. But I look at it and go, shit, I'd have to save up 2 months in one chat. All right. Everybody's got their thing. I'm not complaining about that. What I'm saying is that they got all this stuff, but about you send it to me and I'll give you this but we're in crunch time here. You know, we're in crunch time, but you really need this, but it's going to cost you. But I'm going to give you a 10% discount. It's hypocrisy. It's double speak. I don't get it. So that makes me want to question, who is it you're talking to? What message is this person trying to send through you? Because you flat out saying they're standing in the room next to you. And they're saying this to you, okay? I don't understand why you're doing the shtick with the give it away, don't give it away. You need this, but you're going to have to pay $100 for it. I'm making the money part up. I don't know. But for a poor man like me who doesn't have any money, I can't afford any of this. And if I said, well, is there any way? How can I get this oil? Well, you know, you just have to borrow it from a friend or, you know, pawn something, you know, if you want some of my oil here. But it's really necessary, and you should really get it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying these people are negative or bad, but it's an odd paradigm. You want me to believe you, but that sounds like snake oil. Now, I do know that all these essential oils are wonderful. That's not my point. I just... mixed message, and that's the point. Mixed message from some of these folks I have trusted. I still trust part of their message, but now what seems to be, and I did a video about a week ago, actually, a little over, yeah, it was Monday a week ago, about the magical $10 gas thing we got. You know, oh my God. You know, talk about a message, and then all the numbers that lined up and the angel message that came out of it. And so it's like, I get messages, and there are, you know, concrete things that other people can see. I took pictures of the orbs so I could bring them and say, you know, I had a conversation with some spirits down by the river. Here's a picture of them. Now, how many other people can do that? And I'm not bragging or whatever, but my point is, when I come and want to speak to someone, those beings who are speaking to me go, Hawkeye, they're going to be folks who are not going to believe your ass. So here, take our picture. Thank you. Here you go. So my proof is the pictures that I took. Did I speak with these beings? I took their picture. Is my message true? Is it out yonder somewhere? Maybe. Because I'm saying we don't need all this crap to speak to Creator. It's so easy. We need to drop all these human trappings of religion. Now, there are going to be those who are going, there he goes with one religion. This is the new world order. It's a new world, yes. Order? But the rule is we don't need religion. We're not replacing it. We just don't need it. That's all. It's not, well, the aliens, well, there are aliens from all over this humongous universe. And each one of these alien races, they've got their own cultures and things and ceremonies. Okay. But the bottom line is that source, they already understand. All the ISBs know. Source is within us all. We don't have to go anywhere or do anything. All we just need to do is just allow source to come out in us. We are source, but they call it God. Stay away from the G word because it'll get you in trouble. That's their paradigm. And even some of these highfalutin spiritual gurus right now are talking about the gods of this and Jesus and all that. Oh, and Sananda. Well, we're not going to call him Jesus because, but Sananda. Now everybody's talking about Sananda. Oh man, you're getting caught up in who you or the what or the history. But I'm speaking, and he said this. Well, I spoke to Michael, and he didn't say that. Oh, the real Michael is sitting up there with a can of pop going, they're stupid humans. You know, that's what's really going on if you want to know the truth. Because all this is just shenanigans and whatever. So now, for those who need help to understanding things, they've helped me over the years to help me to figure out. But the bottom line is, after I tried all these ceremonies and all these gimmicks, sitting down in just a quiet meditation and just simply asking Creator, Source to come into you, to just show itself to you, allow itself, and to throw off the trappings of your human self. That's going to be the new religion. Everybody's going to say it's a cult. Well, Buddha is a religion, sort of a cult to some people. Buddha said you don't need anything. That's right. When you die, you can't take it with you, no matter what you do. So you can accumulate a bunch of negative energy in your lifetime, and guess what? That's not going to let you through. Because if you're going to try to take all that baggage with you, you ain't getting through because it's the wrong frequency. So drop all this, oh, but I'm better than person B. I'm a doctor. So I'm going to look down at the garbage man. Well, if the garbage man didn't take away your garbage, you'd have a pile of crap, and you're too good to move it yourself, and and plumbers, and oh my God, people think they're so much better than the next person because they went to school. Creator don't look at it that way. If you went to school to learn something, it doesn't make you better. It's supposed to make you wiser so that you can teach the next person in line. Not stand up and go, well, I know how to do this and you don't. That makes me better. No, that makes you an idiot. Yes. In the eyes of Creator, if you do that for that reason, I'm going to become a doctor so I can become rich. You're going to hell, dude or girl or whoever you are, whatever being, because your intention sucks. The little old lady on the corner says, I'm going to make muffins and give them to the poor kids or something, or that lady's going to heaven, and she's, and she's on roller skates, man. She's got I'm not saying a free ticket. She gets it. She's not necessarily better or worse than anybody, but her intent is to help whoever comes along. So if ET comes down here to intervene, and I heard this evening, and so it made me hesitate in doing a video, but I had stuff I had to get out, and I was being pressured by the orb beings and my higher self to say these things. People, come on, cut this mess out. Yes, let's learn how to get to the higher self. But if you got to go through all these weird shenanigan kind of stuff, you're missing the point. But not only that, it's not that. We're wasting time. We're wasting time. Everybody's saying, let's bring the vibration of the planet up. Then quit this stupid arguing. Raise the vibration. Okay, call your friend and go, I know you talked to St. Michael, but let's get over that. Let's you and I just have prayer together. And the prayer is simply like this. I love you, you love me. And we're going to play for unity and harmony in the universe. We're going to drop whatever gods. We're going to drop all this other shenanigans of I'm a Palladian, I'm a this, I'm a that, and you're a whatever, and we don't get along. Oh, I'm RH positive, and you're not. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's our wasted time. If there are folks up there right now looking down at humanity going, man, we tried to give them a little help here, and they went that crap crazy the other direction. Okay, put your Bibles down and understand that mine wrote the Bible, and he did, and with inspiration. And there are good things in that word and in the Bhagavad Gita and also in these other sacred texts, but God is just a thought. God is dog spelled backwards. And the true creator is source. And everybody's got it. We all have it. We all have a soul. We are all part of the source. And that's all you need to really know. We're always there. Anytime, we're always in touch with source. That's why, well, God's watching. Well, yeah, source is in us. You, me, we're source. So God's watching because I'm part of the collective, as it were. It's not a collective that's telling me what to do. I have free choice. If I want to go out there and kick the cat right now, I can, but that's wrong, and I don't want to do that. I might slip and hurt myself in the mud. Not its intent. What I will do is think, well, I'm going to take some food out to the cats because I didn't give them enough earlier. See, I mean, intent. Well, no. What is our intent in this world? So on your day-to-day basis, do you intend to help someone during your day? Don't think about who, just say, I'm going to help somebody today. I don't know who it is. My intent today is to help someone. And not just like, oh, who can I help? Who can I help? No, you're going to go on your normal daily routine. But in the back of your mind, you're going to go, somebody's going to need something, and my higher self's going to recognize it, and I'm going to help someone today. Not without thinking or something, I'm going to help someone today. And do it. And then you'll find that right there puts you up a notch into another layer of thinking, reality, of being, of awareness, of self-awareness, of soul awareness, of your heart soul awareness. Oh my gosh. So there are some really simple things you can do that will get you and keep you in touch with source, with your creator. Not with some fancy God, not with some Ashtar command, not with all this other banana stuff. Yeah, there are folks up there looking down at us, laughing their buns off at us, dumb humans. But to the point, when we drop all this shenanigans and just allow ourselves, that's when you get contacted by the real ones. Did I just say that? I was wondering, just as a personal thing, all these people are in touch with. I've seen spaceships. I've seen them materialize right out here in space, kind of. I've seen one shoot down another one over my head. I've seen really odd stuff. I mean, if you watch some of my videos, skip through if it gets boring. But I'm save people's lives. I mean, because I listen to my guardian angel. I listen to my source. I listen. Hey, somebody needs you. You need to go do this thing right now. What the hell? If you don't pay attention to your own self and to your own higher self, then you don't know. But if you go, I'm going to channel Regula from Smoke Blair, and I'm going to talk to Ragnar. Incoming message from the big giant head. The message is we're a bunch of dumbasses. As a human collective, we're a bunch of dumbasses. Because even when we're shown the simple truth, we got to find a ceremony for it. And it's humorous. You got to admit, it's funnier than the Dickens. So I hope this has tweaked you in just some kind of little way. And take away from it with, like, don't overthink it. Really. I mean, don't overthink it. It's people are trying to make it harder than it really is. And that's the secret. It's not as hard as everybody makes it up to be, but that's the hard part. It's so simple. I should have thought of this 40 years ago, but I didn't need the information 40 years ago. Everything in its time. Now it's time. People need to look at themselves, think of their heart, think through their heart, not through their brain. And just chill. Ashtar, no offense, Palladians, I know you're my family. You know this ain't against that. It's against the fact that if you don't listen to one of these people, then you don't know then you're not going to be in touch with source. If you don't listen to some of these folks and their opinion, then you can't talk to the ISBs. The ISBs are already speaking to you, meaning the ISB aliens or extraterrestrials or whatever your train of thought might be. But there are very kind and glorious beings in this universe. You just must allow it. Now, allow and say it. I allow only benevolent beings with a B. I only like you good guys. If there's any of you nasty ones out there, or you try to come in and say you're nice, but you're not, I'm asking Creator Source to alert me and to keep you away from me. You don't have to say it like that, but put it out there. Say, I wish only good beings to contact me. And if you negative ones come in, Creator's going to smite you for it. It's just a warning. But the thing is, you've set your intent. If you sit down with a Ouija board, oh, spirits contact me. What? I'm an axe killer from 1492. If you sit down and say, I wish only benevolent, only good entities to contact me. I wish only good entities to help me with energy and knowledge and truthfulness. I wish only good. You set forth your intent. And when you set forth that good intent, you send a bright white light out that the black hats will say. They're like, oh, man, ooh, nope, they don't want me. It's those who don't really have an intent, but are looking for something. They're the ones that get co-opted, we'll say, by a being saying that they are something. Like I said, I'm not saying that folks don't really contact. Pay attention. Watch other folks. When I say my message with Mother Mary, she's saying, y'all be compassionate. Y'all help one another, be kind. That's just, any mother should tell their children that. So, am I having my contacts? Yes. Do I try to say, well, I'm having a thing with Mother Mary right now? No. Mother Mary's message hasn't changed. Be compassionate to one another. Be compassionate to one another. Be kind to one another. Quit fighting, for God's sakes. That message hasn't changed, but the timing of the message has. And that's why I'm having to stick my ugly mug in front of this here camera and talk to wonderful folks like you, because we're all in this together, brother. As the great one said, we're all in this together, brother. So I send my love to you, all of you, and all of yours, to my relations, to your relations, to the elders, to the ancestors, to the ancients, to all of my relations, to all the beings, to all the angels, and all of the archangels. I say thank you and blessings, and let's pass it around and be compassionate to one another. So have a great day, evening, morning, or whatever. And remember, it's not as hard as they try to make you out to believe. So be kind.